A 5-day severe weather sequence is now underway across the central United States, and, honestly, what is developing this week is the most significant storm outbreak of the young 2026 season. From the southern plains to the Ohio Valley, millions of people face repeated rounds of damaging thunderstorms, large hail, tornado threats, and flash flooding with no real break until at least Monday. This is also the first week of what forecasters at AccuWeather are calling a transitional severe weather season. La Niña is rapidly dissolving in the Pacific, and that atmospheric shift is helping to drive an unusually volatile spring pattern across the nation's midsection. AccuWeather projects between 1,050 and 1,250 tornadoes for 2026, near the historical average, but they are clear that tornado count alone does not tell the full story. It only takes one storm striking a densely populated area to make a season devastating, regardless of how the final numbers look. Wednesday, March 4th, is the opening act. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk area, level 2 of 5, stretching from the Dallas-Fort Worth metro north through Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Fort Smith, and up into Missouri just south of St. Louis. A shortwave trough moving through the region combined with afternoon surface heating is expected to generate convective available potential energy levels between 1,000 and 2,000 joules per kilogram. In plain terms, the atmosphere has loaded a serious amount of fuel. Storms are expected to develop between 5 and 6 p.m. local time and push east through Jonesboro and into the Louisville area overnight. The primary hazards Wednesday are damaging hail up to golf ball size and wind gusts capable of downing trees and knocking out power. An isolated tornado cannot be ruled out, particularly west of Fort Smith and south and east of Oklahoma City where surface moisture is richest. Flash flooding is the other serious concern Wednesday that tends to get buried under the severe weather headlines. When storms repeatedly fire over the same geographic corridor, what meteorologists call training thunderstorms, creeks and streams fill rapidly. That pattern is expected Wednesday night from Dallas through Shreveport, Little Rock, Springfield, Missouri, and toward Indianapolis and Cincinnati. Emergency managers consistently identify this overlap of severe weather and flooding risk as the scenario that causes the most trouble. Thursday raises the stakes. The storm system reloads and shifts westward, placing West Texas, the Texas Panhandle including Amarillo and Lubbock, southwestern Kansas, and western Oklahoma squarely in the crosshairs. Thursday's setup is driven by a more robust trough from the west, meaning more atmospheric horsepower across the board. The trigger on Thursday is the dry line, a sharp boundary where dew points climb dramatically in a matter of miles as you move east. When that boundary sharpens and pushes over the panhandle in the late afternoon, it acts as a forcing mechanism that can launch explosive thunderstorms almost instantly. This is a textbook supercell environment. Monster hail is the primary concern, with tornadoes also possible. If you are in the Texas Panhandle, Wichita Falls, western Oklahoma, or southwestern Kansas, Thursday evening is the specific window when you need your radar app open, your county-level alerts active, and your shelter plan ready. Friday, March 6th is the main event. The Storm Prediction Center has already posted a 30% probability area for Friday, the highest number they issue on extended range outlooks, and senior forecasters have noted publicly that when a 30% area appears this far in advance, the final risk level more often than not ends up at enhanced or higher. Forecasters are already running out of ceiling before the event has even arrived. The Friday setup features a 60 to 80 knot mid-level jet stream maximum ejecting off the base of a major trough and pushing warm, moist Gulf air far to the north. Upper-level wind speeds of that magnitude turn ordinary thunderstorms into organized supercells capable of producing long-track tornadoes and destructive winds. The warm sector loaded with deep Gulf moisture will allow supercells to fire in the afternoon, before they eventually consolidate into a squall line carrying significant wind potential well into Friday night. This is not just an afternoon threat. The nocturnal component of Friday's severe weather is serious. Overnight severe weather events historically result in higher casualties because people have already gone to sleep. The threat in the Dallas-Fort Worth corridor should be treated as enhanced risk or higher. That is the floor, not the ceiling. Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Tulsa, Wichita, and northwestern Missouri all sit inside the primary bullseye. Saturday then spreads the threat across a footprint that stretches across 14 states. European model data shows a frontal line covering Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. In terms of geographic coverage, Saturday may be the broadest severe weather day of the entire stretch, reaching cities and communities that, honestly, most people do not think of as tornado country on a typical March weekend. Sunday continues with isolated severe weather from the Ohio Valley back into South Texas. From Wednesday through Sunday, this is a 5-day parade of storm systems. Running underneath every single one of these severe weather days is a flooding story that, honestly, deserves its own spotlight. Wave 1 saturates the soil by Thursday morning, Wave 2 hits Friday on ground that is already full, Wave 3 arrives Saturday with zero absorption capacity remaining. By Sunday morning, every inch of rain goes directly into creeks and rivers. Cities sitting deepest inside the flooding corridor: Dallas, Shreveport, Little Rock, Fort Smith, Springfield, Bloomington, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati need to monitor local creek and river levels now, not Friday when the water's already moving. Looking beyond this weekend, the Storm Prediction Center has flagged days 5 through 7 on their extended outlook with a specific phrase that carries weight: predictability too low. That wording means forecasters are tracking real signals for severe weather around March 10th through 12th, but, they just can't yet pinpoint where the worst conditions will land. A 991 millibar low is being modeled over the Great Lakes region around March 11th, with Arctic air pressing in from the northwest while warmth and humidity hold ahead of the cold front. That combination, winter-strength jet stream speeds meeting a high-contrast moisture boundary, can produce, honestly, very high-end, severe weather potential. The European and American GFS models are not reading from the same script beyond that point. The European model shows an extraordinary temperature swing for mid-March, readings running 30 to 40 degrees above normal this weekend, followed by a collapse to 30 to 40 degrees below normal around the 12th and 13th. That would represent a temperature swing of 60 to 80 degrees inside a single week, a scenario that veteran meteorologists have described as unlike anything seen in years of daily model analysis. The GFS takes a different view, suggesting the warmth holds through around the 16th before the real cold arrives later. Both models do agree on one thing: the warmth this week is real, confirmed, and going to be dramatic. Temperatures 20 to 30 degrees above normal are locked in for the Ohio Valley and Southeast by Friday through the weekend. Nashville pushing toward the mid-70s, Atlanta into the upper 70s, New York City potentially touching the upper 60s by early next week. The bottom line is that this week demands focused attention. Check your severe weather alerts. Keep your flood alerts turned on separately from your storm alerts. Know where your shelter is before Wednesday evening, not Thursday morning. And if you live between the Mississippi River and the Appalachians, be especially cautious about any creek, river, or low-lying road through the weekend. The water that is coming will not care which day of the storm sequence you